Okay, here is 8-2, example 4, evaluating the function e to the x. The textbook has it by graphing and picking out points on the graph. We are going to do just calculator work and use our calculator to evaluate each of these out to 4 decimal places. Remember, there's rounding. Look at the 5th number to the right of the 4th, and if it's greater than 5, you round up. And all different calculators have different buttons. When we get done with this, I'm going to show you some different calculators. When we get done with this and we're trying this in class, ask me to come over and I'll help you with your calculator. Okay, so in my calculator, I'm going to zoom in. Most of you should be able to find this button somewhere on your calculator as well, if it'll focus. And this is it right here. We're looking for the e to the x. You can use it this way on my calculator, or we can use e. Either way, I'll show you both of these to get us to the same value. So let me zoom back out here. And let's see here. Okay, let's try e squared. Now, I've done this on my calculator before, and it's fairly simple. I'm just going to hit shift, and that button right there, it's underneath the natural log usually. And that gives me e, and it's already ready to raise to a power because it has the x there. So I'm going to put squared. And it gives me 7.3. Let's go around to this digit, so we're going to look at the one, so it's going to be 7.3891. That's going to be the answer there. 7.3891 approximately. Now let's do it with the alpha, with the other e over here, and see it's the same way. Some of your calculators might have to do it like this. I'm going to use a different one, the alpha button, and hit e. It gives me a little script e on my calculator. When you see that, you use the little caret button right here, raise it up to the 2nd power, and you can see it gives me the same answer if the light wasn't glowing on it. Okay, let's try that on a couple of different calculators. Some of your calculators may look like this one. Here's the e to the x button. It's attached to the top of the natural log button. If I want to do e squared, I'm going to hit the 2 first, and then shift e to the x. Bam, it spits out the right number. So that'd be with this calculator. This one doesn't have the fancy alpha one, but most of the calculators you guys are going to use looks just like this one. And you have the same button. It's right here, e to the x, attached to the top of the natural log button. So let's do this the same way. Let's go shift e, and when I do that with the shift, boom, there's the correct number. Or I could do it with the alpha e, get the script e, and raise that up to the 2nd power. There's 7.389. Okay, let's finish up the rest of these. Let's take e to the 4th power. So shift e to the 4th. That's going to be 54.5982 because we're rounding. 54.5982 approximately. And then e to the negative 3.2. In our calculator, for most of the good ones, we go shift e, and we're going to raise that up. Okay, we hit the parentheses, and let's make this a negative 3.2. Close the parentheses. So that's the steps you want to do to do a fancy dancy decimal like this one. And so what does it equal? Whoa, my calculator died here. Oh, I hit clear. Dang it. Shift E up to the negative 3.2, and that equals 0.0408 with the correct rounding. 0.0408. Now you can do this with other types of calculators. For the weird one like this, let's just type in negative 0.32 first. So 3.2, make it negative, and then go shift E. 0.0408 still works.